James, we are down to the wire, approaching the Phoenix final, and we've got two four-dog finals coming up right here at Cannington this Saturday.
Absolutely right, lad. Down to the business end of this series. We've got 8 dogs. They will be whittled down to 2. Which one will represent WA over in the Phoenix? Well, we'll get closer to finding out here on Saturday night.
But before that, James, we do have plenty happening with the Dawesville Cup featuring at Mandurah. And let's take a look at this field now. Low Blow, I really like where he's drawn here out of the Cherry. Had a great win in the heats. Shantaram, another Adam Smithson runner, I feel we need to mention because, Adam Smithson's kennels are on fire at the moment, and Shantaram has clocked 27.30 over the 490 before. Archibald got narrowly defeated here in the heats, but I don't think he's lost any admirers. There is, however, James, a question mark on the draw here for Archibald.
Yeah, not sure he's that suited out in box 6 there for this final on Friday night, Leia. As you mentioned, Shantaram comes in as equal fastest qualifier here. Kennel's going great at the moment, can't go past anything Adam Smithson's doing. Ray Keeping, though, all equal fastest qualifier for this race through the heat stage, racing well for trainer Brad Cook. Once again, this wide draw not necessarily suiting him. Remy Manelli, a dog I think that's got a bit of a chance in this one's won her past 2 races, stepped up to this 490 metre journey last week and looked pretty comfortable, so certainly one to be looking out for here.
But I think maybe possibly Low Blow is the one to beat. Let's go back and take a look at that replay of his heat win. Now, Archibald began strongly to find the lead in the heats from a wider draw jumping out of box 8 here. And although Low Blow isn't known to be the quickest at box rise, I thought he jumped really well here in the heats. He did a good job mustering up speed coming out of that last bend to level up, then overtake Archibald in the home straight. But as we know, Low Blow doesn't need to lead to win and is one to watch out for in the tail end of the race.
No, we know he's got that late race power, don't we? He won the distance potential at the start of October. Look, another greyhound we haven't mentioned in this field as of yet, Kinjarling, won his heat in good fashion, had been knocking on the door for some time, this greyhound, and finally got the win. Had an opportunity to catch up with Kinjarling's trainer, Eric Campana. Fair to say he's not super confident going into this race, given that he's got box 8 here. Here's what he had to say. Dog's racing well, but the draw makes it tough for him. He's mad for the fence, so he's on the wrong side of the field here. He's going in hoping for the best, but with no high expectations here. He also thinks, Slayer, that Low Blow is the dog to beat here.
Well, I think it's a pretty open field here in the Dawesville Cup, and that's happening at Mandurah on Friday. Now, James, the big event, the Phoenix, is fast approaching. We've got 2 4-dog finals, and by the end of Saturday, we will know which 2 greyhounds will be going head-to-head in the match race. Yes, next Saturday. Let's take a look at the first of the 2 finals here. And gosh, Vice Group is drawn great out of box 1. We see Sir Monty out of box 3, who clocked a new PB over the 520 last week to defeat Momentum. Amplified, your best bet from last week, James, has come through, and she's drawn out of box 5. And unsee this, of course, the Shane Williams trained greyhound jumps out of box 7. James, even though it's just a 4-dog field, I'm really struggling to pick who wins this.
Yeah, they're 4 really good dogs, aren't they? It's, as we've seen from this series so far, from the 3 races we had, 3 prelude races we had last week, anything can happen in greyhound racing, and these 2 finals up for grabs. This one's no exception. Look, just when we thought Team House had been a little bit quiet by their lofty standards, they come up and win 2 of the races last week. So Monty rolls out with a personal best time. It's look, I'm still looking towards Vice Grip here. He is the All-Stars winner, but any of these 4 could win this.
Let's take a look at Amplifier's replay.
Yeah, I did like her to win this one, Leia, and she did win it, but not in the way that I thought she would. Showed another dimension to her racing here. From box 2, she begins well, but streaking across from the pink, it's Weston Bray, gets to the front We're in the back straight and Amplified trailing by about 2 to 3 lengths. Can't cut the margin until they hit the turn. West Ombre maybe short of a run over the 500 metre journey here. Starts to tie and Amplified pounces. She rattles home along the rail to steal it in the last stride. PB time of 29.68 has now won 9 of 15. A dog on the up and tested once again here on Saturday night, but up to the challenge.
Yes, and I think she looks a very, very strong chance here. Let's take a look at the second final. The next 4 dogs, Momentum, drawn the cherry. Cosy D'Agostino will be very happy with this. The 3 Capito, I thought was a great effort after a bit of a spell to come back and qualify for this final. And then a West Ombre drawn out of box 5, Fernando Star drawn out of 7, the 2 Chris House and Linda Britton runners here in the second final, and they have been racing at Mandurah, so I think they did a pretty good job as well to come up and qualify for the 4-dog final here.
Yeah, cheeky run from Capito, wasn't it? Good to see that dog sneak through into this race here. As you mentioned, West Ombre racing down at Mandurah, of course, won that chase final over the 4:05. Had that first run over the 5:20 last week. Expect him to be a little bit stronger this week. But Momentum, what can you say? A few weeks back, you would have thought this is the dog to beat in this series. What happened last week? Just got outgunned by Sir Monty. Got jumped really, and after he lost that early lead, couldn't catch up. Think he's still the dog to beat here, though.
Yeah, well, I mean, Momentum is qualified, and I do the air quotes because, you know, you can only really qualify the one time to enter into the finals for the Phoenix, but he's kept going. So
a few times,
he has. So he is still a very strong dog, regardless of how he performed last weekend. But yeah, again, another very open field. 2 of the dogs here, of course, dominating for the House Kennel. And I had a chat to Linda Britton about the 3 chances here, and this is what she had to say, beginning with Sir Monty.
You know, he actually ran his best time last week, so if he can keep that up, I think he's a real chance. And he's pulled up well, and he's he's a very, very honest dog. So hoping he can do what he did last week.
And what about West Ombre and Fernando Star in the second final?
Both of those dogs had been running in the heats and finals at Mandurah over 400, so it was a big ask last week. To put them in over 520. They both performed particularly well considering the lead-up races that they'd had to it. So we were just extra pleased with the whole 3 of them. West Ombre's never been overly strong, so he just got run down, and so you'd hopefully he's a little bit stronger this week, and he's a good beginner. Both of them, Fernando Star is a good beginner as well. So we're just hoping that they can get into the race, and show that sort of go something similar to last week or slightly better would be great.
Well, yeah, good luck to all the runners here coming into the 4-dog finals at Cannington. Now, that wraps up. No, you'd think it would, but we have so much on this week, James. On this Saturday, we've got those 4-dog finals, and then we also have the final of the Dart.
We certainly do, over the flying 275-metre journey, and we've got a good field of speedsters assembled here, Leia.
And, well, I don't know about you, James, but I really like Escapology. She has a great record from middle draws. She's drawn out of box 5 here, which is not something you see too often. Also, one that has a pretty good record over the shorter distance. I mean, it's 4 from 4 here, so it's a pretty good record for me. Overall performance, very impressive. She's still young, 18 starts, but 10 wins, 4 placings. I think she is definitely a standout chance here in the Dart. Although another greyhound I've got my eye on, James, is a Chaos Ball for Eric Campana. 3 from 3 now over this track and distance, and drawn out of box 6. And another greyhound, Benidorm, drawn the cherry. We'll appreciate the inside draw, but oh gosh, there is a stack of early pace in this field. The question is really, who will lead?
Yeah, that's right, Leia. Escapology, very fine young chaser. From the Lemon, though, in this race, that might make it a little bit hard. Benidorm gets the pole again after winning her first race over this journey last start, but we can't talk about this race, this distance, and certainly this field without talking about Rollout, the king, the absolute king. Let's have a look at what he's been doing over the course of his career. Look at this, Leia. 58 starts, 38 wins. Now he has got a winning percentage of 66, and what about that place percentage? 91. Look, he comes in to this as the Supremo. He's the alpha dog. Rollout's the one to beat here.
Plenty happening over the weekend, James, but before that, we are racing here tonight at Cannington, and the first comes up at 6:51. We've got some best bets. Who are you liking?
Yeah, I'm heading towards race 7, number 2, Burswood Bandit. Well, when this dog draws the inside layer, I get the magnifying glass out and have a really close look at this one. I do like him from an inside draw here. Form of late has been pretty handy. Of course, did win last week, and I think he's going to be leading this one, which is half the battle over this 380-metre journey.
All right, and my best bet comes into race 8, number 5, Elite Weapon for Shane Williams, the model, as Peter O'Neill likes to refer to her as. I'm not tipping her for her looks, though. I'm tipping her for her capability. She has had a little bit of a spell, hasn't raced since September, but is ready to hit the ground running, in my opinion. Drops back to a grade 5 and has the speed, so I think after Barefoot Tycoon's been scratched, she will definitely be the one to defeat here.
All right.
Coming into race 8.
You think Elite Weapon's going to be strutting her stuff on the dog walk?
Yes, exactly.
As opposed to the catwalk. See
Yes.
what I did there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Is that let's get out of here with we're producing jokes like that. What do you think?
I think it's time for us
I think
to
it's
wrap
time to
up.
go.
But if we don't see you on the track, we hope to catch you next week on the show.